always had an affinity for adventure games, and if you ever wanted to play some of the best, you went to Sierra. While Sierra Series Police Quest and Leisure Suit Larry were pushing the maturity level, it wasn't until Manhunter New York that they pushed the violence and gore levels further than they ever had before. Manhunter New York is a 1988 post-apocalyptic adventure game from Sierra, also known as Sierra Online. The game starts off with, old school DRM. Okay, gotta get the field guide and go to page 3, and this is one facet of classic gaming I do not miss. Alright, back to the game. We start off in the distant future of 2002. An alien race called the Orbs attacked our planet and conquered us pretty easily. Probably a large part of why they were able to defeat us so easily was due to the fact that they're giant eyeballs. I can imagine many a person simultaneously running and shitting themselves while being chased by these things. The opening theme kicks in, and while it's not exactly the overworld theme from The Legend of Zelda, it is kinda catchy. Two years later, according to the manual, you're what's called a Manhunter. After the Orbs conquered Earth, they took certain citizens and made them more or less employees called Manhunters. They'd be given orders to investigate or do mundane tasks for them. I imagine Visine sales have gone up since the invasion. Gah! Can you imagine being woken up by this? This is your first day on the job, and the Orbs order you to investigate an explosion at the Bellevue Hospital. Ah, such lovely furnishings. The green blankets really accentuate the purple carpet. To identify manhunters, they're forced to wear these brown robes. Everyone has these tracking devices implanted in them, so you can use your laptop called the MAD, the Manhunter Assignment Device, to locate them. So using your MAD, you can watch and track anyone who was around at the time of the incident. I fully suspect the NSA is already using this technology. Anyway, this flashing nipple is your cursor, and the T's are the ones you're tracking. Alright, you watch what this guy does, which is blow out the wall of the hospital, take something, and escape into New York. He stops in a church, and then heads to a bar, and then to a public restroom where he disappears. So it's time to leave the apartment and head through this crude reproduction in New York. First stop's the Bellevue Hospital. These eyeballs are freaking me out. Adventure gaming, for people who don't know, is a lot of moving the cursor around and looking for something to click on. Heading to the side where the explosion happened, there's this big hole in the wall. Inside there's a blue corpse and angry penis bot. I wonder what he wants. Checking the toe tag, it's Reno Davis. Alright, let's look at this guy and... the hell? Good. The eyeballs ate me. Let's go back a bit. So all we needed was the name off the toe tag. It's time to leave the hospital and head to the Flatbush Bar. The hell's going on back here? Massive blowjob fest? Since the mark went to the game, let's head over and play it. Before we do that, some hands are grabbing at us. They throw him down and this big guy chucks daggers at your hand and misses your fingers. Now I gotta do that. This shouldn't be too hard. Shit. Pretty harsh considering I didn't even want to play. Oh, a don't lose your head joke. Alright, let's try that again. Success this time. What's he doing? Let's go back and play that game now. So I move the guy here and grab all these things and exit over here without touching these walls. And if things work bad enough, I have to map out the entire thing for a tremendously annoying maze later. I imagine hell is a lot like this. I messed up about 1,000,000 times, so let's just zip through and get to the end. Rewarded with a fireworks show. Oh goody. It's time to leave the bar and head to a public bathroom. Oh really, ladies? These floors are disgusting. Okay, so I have to sit on the toilet and, what was the boss saying? I had to flush 3 times. So he gets sucked into the toilet. This isn't the music I think I would hear in my head while being flushed like a turd. Plus 3 seems like a small number. How many women accidentally found themselves flushed after a rough night at Taco Bell? Okay, so now he's in the sewer. The color on this palette revolves around purple. Purple water, purple blood, purple carpet, purple rain. Remember that map from the arcade game? Here's where it comes into use. The locations all look the same, so there's no way to tell which direction you're heading. You just have to try and follow your map and hope you don't get turned around. Also, make sure you get all the keys or else you'll have to come back here and do this whole thing over again. Finally, the exit. This little cave opens up to Coney Island. Oh, nice reuse of the graphics from the arcade game. I have to go to this guy because he has the dolls that match the arcade game. Now I have to hit them in the order that they were knocked down in the game, and this is needlessly complicated. When he gives you the stink eye, show him the medallion and he'll give you a data card. You get a message from your MAD, and it's a bunch of rhymes. At least it's not too confusing. The orbs override the message, and they want the name of a suspect. Then it's back to the apartment for sleep. This sucks. How come all the other manhunters get to go hang out at a bar, and I have to walk through the sewer? Day 2. Another orb comes to tell me about a missing maintenance robot. Do these things have to keep coming in person? Couldn't they just send an email to the MAD? This time there are 3 targets to track. This one goes to the Wretched Excess nightclub and disappears. The second one heads to the Museum of Natural History and disappears on the 4th floor. Trying to select the last one's annoying because you move slower than they do, and it keeps selecting either the first or last guy. Finally! The last guy goes to a deli and meets up with a giant spider. The 2 head to Central Park. Let's head to the nightclub first. We can't get in through the front, so we have to sneak into the back. Another horrendous action sequence. These guys throw an endless barrage of knives at you, and you have to either duck or jump. After you get past those 2, now there's a guy throwing bottles of Windex. So now the last guy is... What just happened? This is infuriating. Okay, so now I have to time with his arm. Good grief. But I can't even knock out the guy, he just throws me into the club? Alright, in the club, people are wearing different colored robes. And the Blue Man Group is playing. One of these guys I need to talk to. If you talk to the wrong one, they boot you out of the club. Oh, fuck that. We're doing this. Let's try that again. If you talk to this lady, she hits you with her purse, which drops a key card. You then get thrown out again. Next is Central Park, which is filled with landmines. So we have to follow the path that the other guy went. Only problem is, look at all these paths. We're really supposed to tell the difference between this way and sort of this way? Essentially, you see this a lot. It should be mandatory that you have to go back and play this game if you complain that modern games are too difficult. Finally, we make it to this guy who thinks being murdered is cool. So get a look at his stuff. We have to meet Anna at 4:30. Look at his face. He's all messed up. Why is his blood red but mine was purple? Go to the MAD and look up Harvey Osborne. 36 years old and full gray. I guess an alien invasion will do that to you. Now that we have his address, let's head to his place. Take the key out of the bag and open the door to see another gruesome murder. Another person with a P carved in their forehead. That seems like it for here. Last place is the museum. Gotta go in the side entrance. Oh, how I loathe these mazes. This is another one where you have to map out the path that the target took. As with all of these, everything looks the same. Every time you go through a door, it takes your key card, so if you go through a wrong door and don't have a save you can go back to, you can't finish the game. Wonderful. Something happened with my captured footage, so I lost part of this. Basically, you go through the last door, and this lizard attacks you because, why the hell not? If you show him the amulet, he opens the door for you. Going through, you find another corpse, and there's a map of another room. Take the module and remember his tattoo. The MAD goes off, and let's give them Harvey and Ann Osborne and Phil Cook. Day 2 is done. The next morning, our stupid eyeball alarm clock tells us to go to Greenwood Cemetery to investigate a dead orb. Watching the MAD, this guy goes to a theater in Times Square, and then goes to Abdul's pawn shop. Let's head to the church. Somehow we're supposed to figure out if you light the candles in the way the tattoo was, that opens a safe and we can get another module. Now to the cemetery to see the dead orb. You know what? Good. Nothing happens here, so let's head to the theater. Abdul's pawn shop with all the latest swords, guitars, and Nazi memorabilia. Pick the right badges and get dumped in the basement. Another puzzle. If you solve it wrong, you get a rock dropped on your head. Solve it right, and you go to the next puzzle. Next puzzle, next puzzle, next puzzle. Oh, these guys love their puzzles. After making it through, another corpse. Good thing to see he has his name embroidered on his robe. Toward the next exit is this thing. Another timing sequence. Dodge the knife, punch him out, and get the note. Look up Harvey Jones and head to his place. Take the crowbar, smash the stereo, and get another module. Head to the theater and then the side room. Very appropriate movie selection. Sure is a good thing the guy dropped the exact code I needed to get into the safe. So what's in the safe? Another code. Next, it's the Empire State Building. Apparently there's only one small room in this giant building. Gotta turn on the computer and type the password I just got. Oh no, deep warning. It's like those piracy spots on DVD. Head to Alpha Security and send Angry Penis Bot to monitor the hallway. The creators tell me to save, which basically lets me know that I am going to die violently very soon. Yep, there it is. The orbs are calling again and telling me to go home. End of day 3, and finally on to day 4. Good day, and welcome to day 4. Blinky's back and telling me I need to investigate an Alliance computer. Then when this is done, I'm going to get sent to Chicago. Well, at least it's not Manhunter Detroit. Just in case I wasn't freaked out enough, the eyeball peers in the window. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Alright, I think I'm overdue for a little me time. Time to turn on the old laptop and head to Brazzers. The man switches to surveillance of the Alliance computer room. This machine can only run as long as it gets a steady influx of Reese's Pieces. A package flies in and blows up. So the surveillance switches to... Huh? This is the worst part of the game. Actually, this whole game is full of the worst part of the game. You have to target the right dot, which will go into the giant green head for analysis. It is mind-bogglingly difficult because first off, you don't know what you're looking for, and secondly, when you click on a dot, it doesn't always select it. Look at this. How was I supposed to pick this dot out from the other dots? So many dots. After a million times, I finally get it. Looks like a green Tyler Perry. Whatever. Signal analysis positive, and I can move on. The new tracker shows the packets going to the 71st floor of the Empire State Building. Then it gets picked up and taken to an apartment on 5th Avenue. They hide whatever it was in a wall safe. Time to head back to the Bellevue Hospital. Since I used the terminal, Angry Penis Bot is no longer guarding the hallway. Ah, no. One of the stupid eyes spotted me. Run away! I don't want to think about what's going to happen if I get caught. Oh good, he just throws us into a closet full of corpses. Bad, yes, but better than the alternative. It's a very nice song to be playing for the massive pile of discarded bodies. The only thing to do is to check out the grate. Here is where the horrible truth is revealed.
They're eating her! And then they're going to eat me! Oh my God!
Knocking open the grate, you can head into the room, break open the computer, and get another module. Now to escape, we gotta turn the grinder back on. I sure hope this is going in the right direction, and crap. Let's try that again. Oh, good. Hey, it's Donkey Kong Jr. These falling fireball things can't hurt you, but they do knock you off, so you have to start over every time you get hit. Needless to say, I'll be starting over a lot. Getting to the top, you jump out a 10-story window. Sure. In a game where everything kills you, somehow this doesn't. Over to Grand Central Station to get my very own spaceship. Sure is a good thing I picked up all those modules. Alien technology is something. I can take parts from anywhere and use them to power up a vehicle. I can't even mix and match RAM, but they can use a part from a meat grinder in a spaceship. That's like taking a part from your food processor to power your car. And as part of the rest of the game, I have to put these modules in the correct order, even though there aren't any hints as to what order they should go. With the modules installed, the ship engages Knight Rider mode. So now I have to push the right button to start. Okay, it's not that one. It's not that one either. Finally, I figured out the right combination to start up the ship, open the doors, close the hatch, and take off. Handling on this thing sucks. Now it's time to exit through this ant farm-looking maze. If you thought the swimming section in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was fun, then you're gonna love this. At least you don't die when you hit the walls, you just kind of bounce around. After bouncing for an eternity, you can finally get to the exit, and it's the bathroom? I really like that place. Meanwhile, in another part of the city, Gray Rainn Wilson is pissed. He gets in his own ship to track us down. Now I have to go on a bombing run over the city. I'm sure this won't be needlessly impossible. Oh good, Phil is chasing me too. And if he hits me... I have to bomb the Statue of Liberty, bomb the hospital, the Empire State Building, and Grand Central Station. I'm really glad I didn't have to bomb, well, you know. Last bomb dropped and Phil is pissed again. Now is no better time to land and raise the roof. Alright, Manhunter dance party. Walk like an Egyptian. Thousands are dead and giant eyeballs are eating us. Phil uses his Independence Day beam to disintegrate everyone but me. Back in the ship to follow Phil to a cliffhanger. I never saw that coming. Oh wait. Yeah, I did. Why do I have 2 copies? The game was designed by Barry Murray, Dave Murray, and Dee Dee Murray for Sierra Online back in 1988. With everything from Space Quest to Police Quest to King's Quest, Sierra had the adventure genre down to a science. While the majority of Sierra's adventure games were played from a third-person perspective, they wanted to try something different with Manhunter and make it first-person. This was met with mixed results. The new perspective was a welcome change, but the engine running the game was showing its age. They used a modified version of Sierra's AGI, Adventure Game Interpreter, for the game. While it ran the game, it was incredibly clunky. There was no mouse support, so to control the character, you had to use the keyboard. This was fine for basic navigation, but incredibly awkward for platforming elements. The AGI engine ran many of Sierra's classic games, including the first 4 King's Quest and even the original Leisure Suit Larry. In 1988, they released the SCI, Sierra's Creative Interpreter, which was their new engine of choice. Since Manhunter 2 was already in development, it ended up being the last game to use the AGI. Manhunter 2 San Francisco was released in 1989, and I'll talk about that when I do an episode on it. Manhunter is an oddity. The whole thing is just weird. These giant alien eyeballs somehow conquer Earth and make us slaves to rat each other out so they can turn us into food? It's like they got really high and wrote down a bunch of ideas and then turned that into a game. And since this was the 80s, there's a high possibility that's what happened. The game is infuriatingly difficult at times, but so was almost every other game out there. My major gripe is the fact that there were moments where you could completely screw up your game to a point of where you'd have to start over again from the beginning. Like the part with the key cards. If you messed up and saved, you had no way of beating the game. With something this brutal, the last thing you want to do is get 3/4 of the way there and then have to start over again because of bad programming. I still have a major soft spot for the game though. Probably because of it being a post-apocalyptic game, but beyond that, there is a certain charm to it. It skirted the line of goofy family entertainment and brutal, blatant R-rated violence. While games like this, the sequel, and Project Firestar were pushing the violence envelope, it wasn't until Mortal Kombat and Night Trap exploded in controversies that led to the game's rating system we have now. While the game isn't perfect, it does at least deserve some recognition for trying something different in the adventure genre. If you've got DOSBox and are a glutton for punishment, you'll want to look into this one.